there were a number of quotes you used. I think one was from Albert Einstein saying like a illusion, like the most powerful illusion is that of separation.
Yeah.
And that there are all of these foundational principles and values and beliefs you drew in from different uh, faith
Yeah.
tones and traditions. And I loved the fact that you made such a compelling case that look, this isn't just good for you individually, but this also will help us address any of the big picture issues that a lot of people feel are hopeless.
Yeah, and again, because I am a child of the 70s, I use television analogies to kind of help illustrate this point. And I talk about my two favorite shows from the 70s, Kung Fu and Star Trek. And that Kung Fu is, for those who haven't seen it, because not many have, it's about Kwai Chang Caine, and he comes to America in the cowboy days, and he's fighting kind of evil, racist, aggressive cowboys and looking for his brother. And the spiritual parallel I drew there was that we're all Kwai Chang Caine in our way. Like he is harnessing his wisdom and his training, and he's walking a path. He's seeking to be peaceful as he walks that path, but he's coming up against all kinds of tests and vicissitudes and evil dudes, and occasionally using his martial arts skilled.
One action scene per episode.
Yeah. maybe two. But yeah, you're always waiting for that big ass kicking scene at the end of the episode where he beat up the racist cowboys. But that's our personal, individual spiritual path. And maybe we meditate, maybe we pray, maybe we read, spiritual wisdom and traditions. We try and draw on our faith tradition and wisdom of our ancestors moving forward. But the other television show, which I believe is a really, really spiritual show, is Star Trek. People don't think of it as a spiritual show. You think of it
Very
as
utopian.
It's utopian. You think about it as like just technology, uber alles. But really, when you really examine it, what has happened on planet Earth that allows humanity to go out in the Enterprise and explore space? Humanity has peace at home. It has solved racism and income inequality. It has solved environmentalism. And because we've done that as a species, we're then able to boldly go seek out new life and new civilizations on Star Trek, right? And that's what's spiritual about it, is like, because we have solved those issues, humanity is able to rise to its highest nature, which in Roddenberry's case is exploring the universe and meeting other species and spreading technology and goodness with justice and the rule of law. And
interracial kissing and maybe
Yeah.
some interspecies making out too.
There was interspecies making out. It was not only the first interracial kiss, it was probably the first interspecies kiss going on. But this is the other aspect of spirituality. We can use spiritual concepts, precepts, ancient faith-based wisdom to help humanity mature and move forward systematically, from on a species level,
Yeah.
on a societal level.
Yep.
People don't think about they think about spirituality as like, oh, I read this inspiring quote, I light some incense, I go to a yoga class, or maybe I go to church, and I feel better. I feel more serene inside. That's how they think of spirituality. What I say in the book is we've thrown the spiritual baby out with the religious bathwater.
Yep.
So we've thrown out religion because it's corrupt, maybe it's backward, and we don't. It's got a lot of hypocrisy in it. Okay, fine. But we've also thrown out so much of what religion gave us.
It was the glue in the community.
Yes.
Has been for most of humanity for most of history.
Yeah.
And as you reduce it for a lot of folks, and you talk
Yep.
about how spiritual no religion is the fastest growing group, what replaces it? And I had Arthur Brooks on the podcast, and he said something that scared the shit out of me, but I think was right. He said, what's replacing religion? Cable news, politics. And I was like, oh, I groaned. I was like, oh my God, is he
Yeah.
right? But I think he is right.
Yeah.
And then there are other kind of secular sectors that have their own religion, more or less, and each of those religions is, I'm going to suggest, not the kind of religion you want to follow. Like I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
like there's like an insular culture that takes hold in various places.
Humans are wired to worship something.
We're
humans,
worshipful.
we are worshipful. We're wired to worship something greater than ourselves. For many people, that can be positive things like their family and a connection with nature. But for a lot of Americans, it's about money and success, or it's about status.
Yep.
It's about being loved more, or it's about
That's why they call it the almighty dollar.
yeah, exactly. The almighty dollar, the altar of the dollar, the golden calf, essentially. So, how can we reinvigorate our systems with spiritual concepts that are based on compassion, honesty, humility, altruism, and service? And because we've tried the other way. And one thing I love
gonna
about
kill us.
the younger generation is they're open to these new ideas. I can say spiritual ideas. You're talking about kind of philosophical ideas, but whatever it is, it's like, hey, there's billions of us on this planet. We have very limited resources, and we need to share and work together to save ourselves, and we can do it. And that's the message I want to have come across. Like, we have to be hopeful. We cannot sit in the bile of cynicism. We have to believe that we have big connected hearts, and we can work together and make the world a better place.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Please do hit like and subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified every time a new episode drops. Thank you.